I've been a Christian for a lot of years, but there's one thing that I've learned through all of these years that is I've found to be true in every stage of my life and every stage of the Christian life. And that is, when you pray, God does extraordinary things. But also I've learned that when the church does not pray, when there's a prayerless pew, then God is not moving and working, because you see, God always responds to the prayers of His people. In fact, if you will look at the first century church, the early church in the book of Acts, you will discover that the church was born in a prayer meeting, a time of seeking the face of God. And the church prayed and God moved. Thousands were converted and came to Christ. In Acts chapter 1, the church is praying. And in Acts chapter 2, Peter stands and preaches and God moves in a mighty way. Well, I've seen this in my own life, in my own walk with God, because I started off in the Christian life with not knowing a whole bunch, but I had a Bible and a couple of friends, and we would meet together and we would pray, and we began to see God do extraordinary things. God moved and worked in a mighty way. But I tell you, nothing has ever impacted me like what happened when I walked into Romania for the first time. You see, I was invited to preach there in a church, and it had experienced revival. And I walked into that church an hour before the service was to start, and the place was packed with people. Now, they didn't get there just to get early to get a seat. They were there to pray. And for 1 hour before that service start, a packed church was filled with people praying and seeking God's face in Oradea, Romania. And that church became a great instrument of revival throughout that whole region of Romania. You see, when the church prays, God does extraordinary things. And God is looking for a praying people, a prayerless pew. A people who don't pray, a people who don't seek the face of God, will not see the mighty moves of God's Spirit in revival. If we're going to have revival, we must pray. The early church prayed. I found in my own life, when I prayed, God does extraordinary things. We must be a praying people.